What up, though? This is Knockouts in 3 Counts. But before we bring you another episode of Podcast Gold, let me tell you about the homies over at Michigan's Finest. Do you ever find yourself trying to get yourself together and thinking, man, this is going to be a great night, but I'm looking for that little extra something? Well, check out our friends at Michigan Finest. If you are into medical marijuana, recreational marijuana, concentrates, vapes, anything of that sort, Michigan's Finest has got you covered. And as you can see here, it's all easily done by their website. It's all curbside, and you'll be in and out in 2 minutes. And they're family owned and operated, so customer service is their number one goal. And now, since they are rocking with Knockouts in 3 Counts, use the code KO3MF. Yes, that's KO3MF. You get 10% off your entire order, but that does exclude featured items and items that are already on sale. But if you use that code, you're getting 10% off your items, and I promise you, either if you're looking for that big knockout or you're ready to hit the sheets for that 3 count, Michigan's Finest will get you together. Tell them Knockouts in 3 Counts sent you, and I promise you, you're going to be having a great night. Peace.
This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Rock, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts in 3 Counts.
Cover! We got a new world champion! That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts in 3 Counts is the podcast leading to the real deal, baby!
Knockouts in 3 Counts starts now.
What up, though? It is Wrestlemania week, and I want to give fools belly to backs. It is the return of the homie Mega Ran, and man, do we got a lot to talk about. Can't wait to see you in a few days, brother, man. How the fuck are you?
Yo, I'm good, man. Good to see all of y'all, man. It's been a minute, so it's about that season again. So I'm
almost
excited.
a year to the day.
You know,
Yo, you know what's crazy? That's why I mixed it up, because I was literally on the StreamYard link from a year ago. And I took that.
What up, though, Chris?
It said WrestleMania preview, and it said Shane Taylor was on the show. And I was like, oh, all right, well, I guess Shane's on again when I'm on. So I'm looking, and it says the show has ended 12 months ago. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm totally in the wrong place. So it's like you walk up to the venue and it's like, yeah, man, show been over.
That was actually the poster for last year's show.
You know, it was funny. I was talking to J-Bone about this when we were talking like pre-show stuff and everything. It's kind of funny. It's like you've become our WrestleMania episode, and shout out to Ryan McKinnell from SiriusXM. He has become like the all-out episode. So when it's Wrestle time, expect WrestleMania time, expect Megaran. When it's fucking all-out time, expect Ryan McKinnell at some point.
So, wow.
You know,
does that make me Mr. WrestleMania?
I mean, that's a hell of a moniker.
Hey, let's go, man. Let's go.
I mean, you can add another one to the list.
Put that on the hashtag. I will take it. Yeah, man, we've been on especially with me and you, at least the last few years. But prior to that, since the previous Dallas Mania, I've been going to WrestleMania every year since then. It's become like a bit of a tradition. So it's dope to put other special things around that. So like a new release or hanging out at WrestleCon or hanging out with the homies. It's now become the thing I look forward to every year, man. It's really dope.
Hands down, dude. Like, for those that have been following the show for any amount of time, that was literally the emphasis for how this show started. Like, I went to WrestleMania 33 working midnights thinking, you know what, fuck this, I'm going. And through doing that, you know, seeing you perform at Madison Square Garden for the Ring of Honor Supercard, and then fast forward to showing up at StarCast in Chicago, and then linking up there. And then ironically, the last time I was in LA was with you. So, I mean, the last time I was in LA was with you and Derek when I was cruising that Mustang at 110 down the carpool lane in this motherfucker. It was a good time in LA. I definitely would not mind being behind the wheel of Mustang again anytime soon. But we also got something else to talk about. Like you said, putting releases around WrestleMania. And I'm not just blowing smoke, bro. you know, your new album is fire. I've already heard some of the songs, like, you know, Say Goodbye to the Bad Guy, which we heard you drop, you know, but dude, I mean, I'm not just kidding, you know, shout out to Teak as well, man. You know, Super Kicks was fire. I love the vibe of that song. I also, like, obviously was a big fan of Sunset Flip, you know. I mean, tell me the inspiration for this album. Where'd it come from? Were you just looking to get some new music out there, or was there a specific, you know, vibe you were looking for when recording this?
Yeah, I had about 2 or 3 songs that I recorded that I really liked. And then I had like 3 or 4 songs that had never been released that I really liked. And then I had, you know, the tracks like Bad Guy, which had come out without necessarily having a home connected to it. And I love my albums to have a bit of a theme. So wrestling's the theme, Wrestlemania is the theme. And this all goes back to January. I was doing a panel about best wrestling theme music. And somebody handed me a pin or something, and it said, "Wrestling is real, people are fake." And I was like, yo, that's dope. That's gonna stick with me for a while. And so I just wrote it down. And then I just started working on other songs. And the title track, which I did the video for, came about first. And I ended it by saying wrestling is real and people are fake. And I was like, oh man, I got to do something with this. So yeah, it was a combination of all those things, like having songs that I really liked, having previous songs that hadn't come out yet, and then songs that really connected them together. So that's what made me finish this project and get it out. And I know that my next like official solo rap album is going to be a children's album, and it's not going to come
that's dope.
The fall. So, you know, with me being a new pop, I was like, I got to get some wrestling heads in the meantime, because I know it's going to be a minute before that record gets done. So it's more something to hold you over, something for the wrestling heads. And I'm really excited about it. I love it a lot. I'm working on music videos tomorrow. Super Kicks videos coming out. And then after that, we got one for Better Than Whatever You Like, and something else too, but I'm not going to talk about it yet. It's a secret.
I like to hear. Talk me through what kind of challenges you run into when doing such like a themed project like that. I mean, I know there's got to be some type of, with a wrestling project, it may be a little bit easier because of the motivations there, right? It's such a big thing in your life where you know, constantly enjoy it and stuff. But talk me through that, like being so single-minded while focusing on a project like that.
It's not easy, honestly, because like I want to talk about other things. I want to like get into other stuff. So it's more of it's like a assignment that you got to stick to. It's like, no, you got to stay focused and finish this up this way. And so mainly it was a task of like just tying everything back to wrestling, which thankfully is not hard. I don't know about y'all, but through my day, I'll be like, man, that's just like wrestling. Or, you know, I make some sort of comparison like, man, that dude just, you know, like went into business for himself, or, yo, that just, you know, I'll use wrestling terminology to describe anything. And we always say in our like group chats, like, man, everything is wrestling. Like there's something that's going to happen that's going to be like, man, that's very much wrestling, politics, you know, religion. Like there's just so many things.
I mean, Donald Trump did get stunned here in Detroit at Wrestlemania and then ended up being a president. So I'm just saying.
He did. So everything is wrestling at this point. So yeah, nothing ever surprises me. So it's easy to tie stuff back in, which got me really like, it wasn't so hard for me to put it together once that happened.
Not to dig too far into that next project, but the fact that you don't swear a lot in your raps, that makes it a little bit easier to focus on such a project like a kid's album. But talk me through that. That's got to be an interesting project, though.
Oh man, it's super fun. Like, but I had to really talk myself into like how to create that. You know, like I'm like being such a harsh critic on maybe the bars or the rhymes or the styles and the techniques I'm using, and then I'm like, wait, it's for kids. Like, chill out, bro. Like, I have to kind of remind myself that you can still be creative, tell great stories, but you don't have to try to beat yourself over the head trying to rhyme like Eminem when you're trying to get stuff for kids, you know? So it's definitely been a challenge for me, because I'm like, oh, I don't want this to sound corny. I don't want this to sound like I'm just not good at rapping, but I also want kids to understand it. So there's this fine balance, you know what I'm saying? But I think we got it, man. This record is gonna change my life. I just know it, which is why I'm taking my time with it. And I know that it's gonna do some cool things My kid loves it. Like he's bobbing his head and dancing to it. And kids are the best judge of that kind of stuff. So if it can make them move, man. So we're mixing a lot of genres. I got a ska song on there. I got all types of things going on. There's a lot of jazz, a lot of hip hop, a little reggae. So yeah, it's coming this fall. It's actually some of the first times I've gotten to talk about it, but it is coming this August.
Excited.
I like it. Man. Just in time for you to come up here to Detroit, bro.
Yes, indeed. Right around town of SummerSlam, more wrestling.
Hell yeah. Glad they're finally bringing it back here. Speaking of WrestleMania 23, this is the first time since then they've had anything big like that here. So, well, I mean, we did have Royal Rumble, but that was at Joe Louis. So, I mean, this is like the first like big one that we've gotten since then like that. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to everybody coming to me for once instead of me having to travel to every other motherfucker in every other place. I live in the
time, man.
True.
Damn right. And I already got the time off of work. Holy shit, how did that happen? But
that's the craziness.
That's the crazy part. So I'm gonna get paid while I'm there? Oh shit.
Yeah.
That speaking of getting paid, you got to check out our other sponsors, G3 Payroll and Tax. Make sure you check out that link there. I'm just saying, Jack hooked it up on the taxes this year, and your boy's doing all right on the way down to LA thanks to G3 Payroll and Tax. So make sure you do that. Check out that link. Tell him we sent you. To answer some of the questions in the comments, though, who's excited for that ROH pay-per-view this Friday? We may be there. So, Mike, like I said, I am definitely looking forward to that. I hope Pro Wrestling Tees gets my Jay Briscoe shirt here on time, but that's a story for another day. But back to the music stuff, dude. Another thing that I really noticed was just the different vibes in the songs. And J-Bone, I know you had a few other things that you wanted to ask about that.
Yeah, man. So like for me, I already got a favorite. Sunset Flip is my shit. That's been on fucking repeat all day long today. But I want to know the initial reaction from Austin Creed when you approached him and said, "Look, dude, I want to put you on this track." My man's was spitting bars on there. Look, that's the new up and coming right there, man.
That was fun, man. I'm just, man, Austin is the best dude. Like he's always down to try anything. And I think that's like a big reason why the New Day has been so successful, because it's like, yo, you give me something crazy, all right, I'm gonna do what I can with it and I'm gonna make it work. So he's always down to try. And so I gave him this idea and he's like, this sounds ridiculous. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, tell me more. So we started talking about it and he's totally in. He's like, all right, this sounds cool. And he's like, but I'm not a rapper though. People are gonna like, pick me apart like I'm not a rapper. And I was like, nah, man, I think this song's supposed to sound like a conversation. And he actually did his thing, man. Like, so it was, we went back and forth a little bit and I did some, I had to do some like, maybe coaching, you know what I'm saying? Being like, all right, so now you hit this part like this and you got to say this word fast to hit it in here, but just like he would coach me, I'm sure if I was cutting a promo, you know what I'm saying? So it's literally the same thing, except I call rap like a rhythmic promo, you know what I mean? It's a promo on rhythm. And so he's a natural entertainer. So he nailed it. And once I gave him a couple of notes, he was like, bam, I pretty much one-taked it and did it exactly the way it was supposed to be. So I'm real proud of the way that song came out.
That shit was fire, dude. Anybody who hasn't checked it out, it's on all streaming platforms. Like J-Bone said, I've been bumping it the last couple days. That being said, like, I know how tough it is to get around shit sometimes. So was there any like red tape you had to jump through with that, or was it like simple to get done?
Well, it was not simple to get done. I'll just say.
I figured it might not be.
That song, we did it 2 years ago, actually. That song is old. I'll just say that. Wow. Like, it just takes time to get that stuff, organized. And shout out to Creed for like really pushing forward as far as getting like you see he's doing the stuff on Twitch, like hanging out with Cole and everybody now, and like they were doing up down down. So he was really ahead of the curve on as far as like wrestlers being able to get into other entertainment avenues. Like they're on freaking Wheel of Fortune now and doing all kinds of cool stuff. And so in the digital space, he's been like really ahead of his time with that. So this is just another extension of that. And it started because he plays GTA a lot online. And in GTA, you do like role playing. And so in the GTA role play, he was a part of a record label called Wu Chang Records. And they had to record rap songs in real life and then play them for the record label boss. So I heard the song and I was like, yo, is that you rapping? And he was like, yeah, just playing around. And I was like, let me see that. So then once I heard it, I was like, all right, I think you can pull this off. But yeah, like I guess got to shout him out for being so like adamant and creative enough to be like, all right, I'm really going to try to push this and get this done. But yeah, it wasn't easy. You know what I'm saying? It took a little while to get this officially out where people could hear it.
So do you got a favorite song on the record that you like best? I mean, I've got a few that I like. Like I said, I like Wrestling Is Real was dope out of it. Obviously, Sunset Flip. I like Super Kicks as well. So
thank you. My favorite is Better Than Whatever You Like. Because it's real mellow. I made a couple of beats on this album for the first time where I like really sat and made the beats. I made the intro. I made, I think, 2 others. So this was one of them that I really sat down with the piano beat and like really like try to knock it out and tell a story that was entertaining. You know, we talk about all the silly moments in wrestling. You know, I said a woman gave birth to a hand. A dude named David Arquette was the champ. You know, so talking about weird things where people are like, man, come on. Even yesterday, I went to Raw. It's a quick side story. And as the dude's like wanding me, like the metal detector dude, he's like, come on, bro. You ain't really here to see wrestling, are you? And I was like, yes.
What?
And he's like, you just here to see the naked women. You just trying to see the women. Oh, man. And I'm like, bro, nah, I'm here for wrestling. Like, I've been watching this my whole life. Like, what you mean? And he just couldn't believe it. So that's like songs like that are for those people because like it still happens. I don't know if y'all get it, but like I got my closest homies that'll be like, man, I just can't believe you, man. I can't
all the time.
You actually be watching this stuff. Like people still don't necessarily like recognize wrestling as like a true art form or entertainment form. Like, yo, you watch people dress up like characters and people they're not all day long. So the same thing. You know,
dude, I've already gotten it this week. Like with us getting ready to leave to LA, like this girl at work was like, what are you going on vacation for? Another wrestling thing? And I'm like, but then on the flip side of it, like when we just did the thing with Devon Dudley at Astronomicon, shout out to Astronomicon, you know, then everybody's like, oh man, that's cool because they know who he is. You know what I mean? So it's funny how some of the same people who will shit on you for watching wrestling, if it's the right person or that recognizable face, dude, you know, it's funny how that perception changes, which if any of you guys are new here, man, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the stuff that we got coming. Natalia Markova from NWA will be joining us soon. UFC, MMA, BKFC, all that good stuff. You never know what you're going to see here. I know Chris Cale from Five Finger Death Punch, for all of you music fans, will be joining us again next month as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. But, dude, like I said, I like the way that every time you drop a record, my thing is how each one is so different. Like the vibe is definitely different. It's not the same. You know what I mean? Like you've got your elements to it, but like every record's got a different vibe, you can see you had a different mindset going into each one. So
yeah, that's
something you've tried to do?
Yeah, it's on purpose, like kind of to my detriment sometimes. But like, there's people who hit me up and they're like, "Oh, I love that you're versatile," but at the same time, like, it's like the opposite of being like mainstream successful. Because when you're mainstream successful, you got to be laser focused, point to the people who like going to the club, getting drunk on Fridays, you know. And it's like if you're not making music in that vein, then they're not going to want to hear this, that, and the other. So, but I enjoy that. My old name used to be Random before I was Mega Rand, and that's really what it is. It's like whatever I'm thinking that day, I write it down and I try to go get it, you know, try to figure it out. And it you know, the Mega Rand Country album could come next. Who knows, man? Like I just do whatever I'm thinking. And luckily, thank God, you know, I've had people, fans, supporters, whatever you want to call them, that rock with me, that want to hear what I'm doing next. So I don't want to let them down. So I think the opposite of random would be predictable. So I don't really want to be predictable.
I like that.
Well,
I like that.
Speaking of not being predictable, bro, I mean, you're showing all the tools on the tool belt. Tell me about DJ and Wrestlemania, because I know for one, after last year, I asked Corey, asked J-Bone, go back and check out last year's episode when I came back. Wrestlemania was some of the most fun I had the whole fucking week. And now that we're going, we were already going, and now you're DJing it. So this shit's about to be gnarly.
Yeah, man. I knew once it went down, that was a day one ticket cop for me, regardless. Like, Wrestlemania is the best time you're gonna have at WrestleMania. I can't even explain it. It's like a kickback. It's music. It's wrestling. It's live podcasts. It's meet and greets. It's chilling. It's drinks. It's all that stuff with wrestling as the backdrop. So it's people from all these different walks of life that love wrestling. So shout out to Wale for putting it together, bringing people around, and people have just like loved it. I missed it last year. I was so sad. But the lineup this year is nuts. I knew in LA it was going to be crazy. But I try my best to never miss Wrestlemania. And so I'm excited. This is going to be a good one. And then my man Kaz, shout out to Kaz. I just happened to hit him. I had to hit him happened to hit him up like, yo, congrats on Wrestlemania. What a brother got to do to DJ? And he's like, oh, say less. And I was like, what? So shout out to Kaz for looking out. So I will be there. I'll be bringing my brand new DJ equipment that I just picked up. We played at Cobra Arcade Bar here in Phoenix last night. Had a good time after Raw. MVP, Cedric, a few other cats came through. That was dope. But yeah, man, it's gonna be lit, man. So I'm really looking forward to it. You're gonna get some music. You're gonna get some wrestling. I'm gonna play some wrestling themes. I'm gonna play maybe see some of my tracks. I'm gonna sneak them in. It's gonna be a good time, man. And all the homies are gonna be there. And then I'm gonna hit them with the finisher, which is I Want It That Way by Backstreet Boys.
Look, bro. Oh my God, this just made me think of something that I have to say right now. So, dude, if you haven't seen it, I'm trying to remember. It was either LFA or Fury FC. My man choked this motherfucker to sleep and then had the whole crowd singing I Want It That Way while this guy was sleeping. Choked this man the fuck out and had the whole crowd singing that. Could you imagine how humiliating that has to be? Like, you not only just got beat, but now he's like ultimate clowning you. It's not even trying to be disrespectful, even in a way, because some guys are just showmen, but holy shit. First you get choked out and you wake up to that. Come on, man.
Yo, when I wake up, we got to fight again. That's how that is.
There's some ways to lose, and then there's some ways to start another fight, if you know what I mean.
Well, speaking of fights, dude, what fights are you looking forward to most Saturday and Sunday? I know I'm looking forward to checking out stuff like Bloodsport and a few other things down there. So,
yeah,
what are you looking forward to for WrestleMania week, bro?
There's so much stuff, man. The ROH card looks crazy. The Impact show looks nuts. GCW always comes through. I just heard about the Circle 6 stuff that's going on Thursday.
Shout out to Circle 6. We fuck with them heavy.
Man, it's gonna be nuts. So they just asked me.
Lindsay Snow's got a cannabis cup with Circle 6. Matter of fact.
Ooh. Well, my man JB over there just asked me to ring announce Circle 6's thing. So this will be my first announcement of this.
Oh shit!
That on Thursday night, right before Wrestlemania, you will see your boy. They're doing an hour-long show around 6 p.m.
Shout out to Mike.
Your boy will be ring announcing. So I'm back at it. So I'm gonna be in my finest Roosevelt's shirt and be out there doing my ring announce thing. So I only get to do it around Mania weekend. So it's just like an honor. So I'm looking forward to that.
I just want to say how dope this shit is because I'm going to be there for all this shit. So Knockouts and 3 Counts will be in the building at all these things as well. Like I said, I'm glad to hear this because of all promotions you could have done it with, anyone that's been following us knows that we fuck with Circle 6 heavy. You know, we had Atticus Kogar on with them. We had, the president or the owner, Mike, on there and talked with us, Vinny Massaro from Circle 6. And, like I said, we've been working with them ourselves, so it's dope to know that not only are you doing it, but doing it with a promotion like them, who are genuinely good people. And I just found out that I'm gonna see somebody get fucked up that night right before we go to Wrestlemania.
Yeah, don't get any blood on you on before that.
Hey, I'm wearing something purple. At least it's not white.
Yeah, don't wear white there. So yeah, come through. But I got to add that to my Mania week schedule. But besides that, we're going to be at WrestleCon and Wild Mania and all over the city. So just throw up the bat signal and you'll see us.
Man's ain't sleeping, man. Ain't no sleep in LA.
You don't sleep WrestleMania week. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
Can't do it. No sleep.
Like,
no
dude,
sleep.
Wale Mania last year, bro. Like, oh my God. Like, Devin, it was me, Devin, and Whip was with us too. And dude, the one thing that I will always remember from that is when they got Tom Hannafan up on the stage and had old girl dance with him. And at first he looked like, oh shit. Dude, that was a badass night. It was at the House
so many
of
memories.
Blues.
I remember seeing Omos up there rapping Jay-Z.
He was up there again last year. And then Wale was dancing around Jade around and shit.
Yeah, so that's just gonna make some memories, man. Like, I'll never forget the New York one. I took a video because they everybody, it was right before Kofi Mania, so everybody's like, yo, we gotta honor Kofi, man. And Big Shad, rest in peace, he puts Kofi on his shoulders and everybody's just up there dancing, wilding out, and man, it was just a good time, man. So that's the kind of stuff you're gonna see only at Wale Mania. Get tickets while you can. I think VIP sold out, but you can still get your regular tickets. Just search Wale Mania Ticks, and we'll see you there.
This is why you got to hit subscribe, man, because, I plan to document a lot of what we're doing WrestleMania weekend. Another reason to hit that there button. But, with that being said, before you get out of here, bro, you cannot get out of here without giving me some thoughts on WrestleMania. What are you looking forward to? What's sticking out to you? Thank God it's in a closed stadium, so I'm not going to get poured on like we did in New York. Oh, did I say that?
God. New York, I got poured on in Tampa.
I was in a fucking suit.
Yeah, man. Thank goodness for covered stadiums.
And I saw Kurt Angle's fat doppelganger that had a singlet on, and his phone fell down where the sun don't shine, and it was the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. But go ahead.
So I mean, this is a bloodline show. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the tag title match and the world title matches. But on the low, I think this Ray and Dom thing is like, I really want to see that, man. Like, we've been waiting for this. This might be the most build besides, maybe the tag titles that of anything. Like, this build has been going for years. So it's like really good to finally see ahead to this. And maybe I don't know for sure, but it feels like it might be one of the last times we get to see Ray really go, because I don't know what's going to happen after this, to be honest. So I am very excited, and but man, I think the whole show is going to be great. I like that they seem to be keeping the cards a little smaller each night, so we don't have to be there for 7.5 hours per night, paying expensive drink fees. So I like that. The women's matches are going to be fire too. But yeah, and also Seth and Logan are going to tear it down.
That could definitely be a sleeper because again, ring the bell. We were there me and Devin were there last year, thanks to Mega Ran, because Devin was sitting in Mega Ran's seat night one. And Logan Paul's debut. Dude, I just couldn't sit. The one thing that I kept saying throughout that whole match was like, dude, like, I didn't expect him to be horrible, but he's keeping up.
Yeah.
Like, not only is he keeping up, he doesn't look like he shouldn't be in there. And then as it kept going and he kept doing the shit that he's doing, I'm like, dude, this guy's not bad. The only thing that he did that sticks out to me that drives me insane is the fact that when Miz hit him with the skull crushing finale, he was up before Miz was even at the ramp.
He got up too quick. But yeah, I think, man, this dude, he's got it in him. Like, he's an entertainer. If he wants to do this full time, he's a future world champion. No question. Like, I feel like this dude has it all. Like, I remember at Royal Rumble, we were sitting kind of by where everybody that loses exits. And so we see him walking down the aisle, and like when the faces come by, they're still high-fiving fans or maybe stopping for selfies or just whatever because the camera's off him. So Logan like is walking, trying to act like he's, sad. And then a fan comes up to try to get a photo, and he's like, all right, hold on. And he gets like he's gonna take a photo with the kid. He stands right next to him, and the kid's like fumbling with his phone. And when the kid finally gets his phone up, Logan's like, all right, I'm out.
Oh no.
It just walked away. I was like, that's good heel shit. Like that was great.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah. I hope that WWE, now that Jake, we don't know what's going to happen with Jake next. If they don't bring Jake into WWE soon, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know if there's like any restrictions since he signed with PFL, but man,
that'd be great.
I think that would be money, because I called it on this here show that when they had the show in Saudi, I'm like, bro, if you don't fucking have Jake Paul run through here, I don't know what you're doing. Like, that would have been dumb. So, like, I gotta say, now that he lost in this whole boxing thing, you know, he says he's gonna run it right back with Tommy Fury, but who knows? In the interim, I think WWE needs to bring him in there. Shit, have the Usos versus the Paul brothers. Damn it! Here you go. There you go. I said it. Brothers versus brothers. You said your brother. Well, guess what? They're brothers. Damn it. So have them have a tag match. I bet you that shit ain't bad.
Generico and Steen are fucking. You know what I'm talking about. They're brothers too. Damn it.
Wait a minute. Since you brought that up, I have to say this before we let you go. Since I know you're a video game guy, bro. I've been playing WWE 2K23. I just started playing the My Rise, and I gotta say, there was this guy that I beat up in Mexico called El Ordinario, and he damn sure looked damn similar to one guy that used to be called El Generico. Yeah. I just want to throw that out there.
Yo, I'm on not too far after that part too. You like freaking basically are in the G1 tournament. It's like,
dude, I love that shit. I literally was telling somebody after I was telling Corey. Yeah, I said, bro,
I was gonna say, it wasn't somebody.
The fact I had to think about it for a minute.
It's like all the stuff. Like, it's very close. New Japan, if they wanted to really like look closely, they could be like, hey man, like, hold up, y'all thinking.
But they changed all the names and stuff, and it's like, I just think it's cool that they're acknowledging the stuff outside WWE, because that's what I saw when I looked at it. You're acknowledging, like, okay, you go win this in Japan, and that's a huge fucking deal.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and acknowledging like how when you're in the airport and you run into Drew McIntyre and got to fight him in the 2 out of 3 falls match, and then it's like basically the same thing like what he did on his way back to WWE. Like, I was telling Corey, that was one of the things that I had hoped we'd see more in 2K, is like the more of the story, because I feel like that was a lot of what was really good.
Like the climb back is really cool to see. I love it. Yeah, you start at the top and then you fall down, you gotta get yourself back up. Like, I like it a lot. I feel like it's a little bit too inside baseball for like maybe the casual fan. Like, if you're just a fan who's not on the internet, this is probably like, what's happening right now? like what do you mean gimmick? What are you talking about? You know, like, there's a lot of insider knowledge that goes on in it, but I'm sure it's super realistic. I was like, yo, this is like the Keith Lee story, the Drew McIntyre story, it's like so many people's exact story. So it's pretty fun though.
Yeah, man, you're not wrong. It's he's saying he's getting ready to start that. I mean, My Rise is definitely cool. The showcase was pretty dope, although that match at the end, holy shit.
Oh, I didn't get through that yet. Man, I was having a hard time with the first few matches.
Bro, at the end, you got to fucking fight San Martino, Austin, and 80s Hogan, and you have to eliminate them all to complete the objectives.
Oh, that sounds impossible.
It took me a lot of fucking tries and over multiple days because I got very pissed off. I'm just gonna put this out there. Maybe I gotta fucking get a Twitch going just for that. But I know we're getting short. I mean, we gotta do that, dude.
Yeah.
But I know we're getting short on time here. I don't want to get beat up the next time y'all come into town. All right. So before we get out of here, if there's anything you want to plug or any of that stuff, and like I said, we're gonna be in LA this week. So if you're at WrestleMania, keep a motherfucking eye out.
Yeah. All right. All I got to plug is the new album. Wrestling is real. People are fake. Just look it up. I got some t-shirts. I got some pins. I got a few CDs left. You can go to my website, megaranmusic.com, or you can go to Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your music. Check it out. Give it a spin. Hit me up. Let me know what you think of it. Twitter/Megaran.
Oh yeah.
Well, boys, Megaran's got to go do his thing, do the daddy deal and all that good stuff. I mean, I got to say, that little guy has got a lot of energy. I'm just saying.
Thank you guys so much for the support. Appreciate it. I look forward to chatting with y'all again. Yeah, man. And shoot, Kyle, I'll see you in a few days, homie.
Hell yeah, bro. We are
Appreciate the
getting
time, brother.
at it, bro. Yes, sir.
All right. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Megaran's the shit,
All right.
dude.
Megaran, ladies and gents, go get that album wherever you stream your music. I'm definitely looking forward to getting there for Wrestlemania, dude. It's going to be a damn good time. All of you guys who are checking us out from Megaran's channel, thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, check out our sponsors, all that good stuff. He started talking about it. J-Bone, you were a little quiet. Let me ask you, what are you looking forward to for WrestleMania?
Oh yeah, it's that time of the year, man. The best time of the year for wrestling fans, dude. For me, the WrestleMania event, like they always say, the pageantry, everything is so big. This is so big every year. It just gets bigger and bigger. But this year, there are probably about 4 matches that could potentially steal this show. On Tuesday, when we come back and we're talking WrestleMania stuff, we could very well be talking about things other than the main event. And it could be an opening match. It could be somewhere in the mid card, wherever it is. There are about 4 or 5 matches that could completely steal this show.
Look, if you're just checking out the show, I mean, like we were just talking about with Megaran, there's definitely going to be more than WrestleMania for me to talk about, because Wale Mania is about to be off the fucking chain. That's all I'm going to say.
Out of the I don't want to say regional shows, but the smaller talent shows that are going on that weekend, what are you looking forward to the most, Kyle?
Off the indie shows, I would say Bloodsport. Bloodsport's the one that I want to hit. I mean, that was gnarly. Shout out to Ninja Mac. That's where we got him from. Who he will be making his return here to Detroit May 20th at Harpo's, motherfucker. So we might have to have a return of the Ninja. Bet that.
Does that just boil down to the tournament nature and the fact that they don't run a ton of shows? So when they do, it kind of feels special.
I just love the vibe of those shows. Like,
it's got that
especially
Pit Fighter, Street Fighter type vibe, dude.
Bro, like they beat the shit out of each other there. Like, I mean, with it being like, dude, Moxley versus Biff Busick last year. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Moxley versus Biff Busick was gnarly. Check out some of the pictures from my view and our social medias there in the corner at KO3C Pod. Bro, like I said, I love seeing the MMA side of it too. Like, again, like obviously our show covers the combat sports end of things as well. I'm very much a fan of that whole thing. I'd love to get Josh Barnett on there. Shout out to our friend Lindsay Snow, who we were talking about, who's the only female winner of Bloodsport. So I like I said, I just enjoy that it's a different vibe. It's that I think that's what it is. Like, it's raw, it's gritty, and somebody's gonna get fucked up. All I know is that I think Bulletproof Troop needs to be in one of those soon.
Sounds like a good contender.
It's cool to see.
Feel like he would be dropping
his way through that.
Say it again.
I said it's cool to see Circle 6 having so much to do out there this weekend too.
We're gonna be there. This is news to me. Like shit. Like I didn't even know anything about this, and I'm like, well, hell, I guess we're going to Circle 6.
So much going
on. Congrats to the boys at Circle 6, because they definitely put on a good show. I found their stuff entertaining, and working with the owner over there. He definitely seemed like a good guy that was genuinely interested in promoting and building the talent, not just his organization. So you could definitely get that feeling from him. So anything Circle 6 does, I definitely will shout him out.
I'm just looking forward to getting out of here, bro. To be honest, like I'm really looking forward to more than anything. Like J-Bone and I were talking about this off the show. Like honestly, man, like don't get me wrong, you guys need to hit that damn subscribe button because you have no idea. Like I say, we're gonna we got a table at WrestleCon. We're gonna be there at Wrestlemania. He's DJing. Who knows what we're gonna end up getting on there, but
busy week, bud.
I just want to be out, dude. Like I'm looking forward to being out. I just want to have fun. I want to just for 5 days, I don't got to worry about nothing. I don't got to worry about getting paid. I don't got to, dude. I'm only using 2 days of vacation while I'm out there. Like, you know what? I'm ready to go. Like it's gonna be
that worked out nice for sure for you.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be a good time. And there's so many of our guests out there. I'm just looking forward to seeing so many people. I think that's one of the coolest parts to WrestleMania weekend for me at this point is the fact that like I've met so many people from so many different places, and then all the different people that we've had on the show. Then when you run into them, even ones that we've had on from like back in the day, like Ricky Morton from the Rock and Roll Express, when I ran into him, he kind of didn't remember at first, but then when we kept running into each other, he did remember. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's just running into everybody and the vibe, and everybody's there because you like wrestling, dude. Like, we're all there for the same shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, dude, and they take over the city.
It's a collective of just wrestling. It's not just one brand. It's not just one show. It is a weekend long collective of people just enjoying the same thing, which is professional wrestling. How cool is that? It brings everybody together every year, man. It's definitely special.
I couldn't agree more, dude. It's like I said, it's going to be a damn good time. If you're at any of the events we're at, like I said, follow along at KO3C Pod. Like I said, I love meeting the listeners and the people that take the time to watch this show. So I appreciate all of you guys. But with that being said, what do you think, bro? Is Cody taking the strap off of Roman, or does the tribal chief continue to reign?
Man, the story's there, right? It's all perfectly placed for Cody Rhodes. It's he's gonna finish the story, right? And he deserves it. Don't get me wrong, he deserves this, but I wouldn't be upset if he doesn't win. I'm totally cool with the whole Roman Reigns thing, only because this is why. Now, Kyle, you know, a lot of championship reigns kind of fade and they just expire over time. It's no longer fun to watch. Roman Reigns is still fun to watch. He is still in the peak of his career, the prime of his career, and they're still doing good stuff on TV with him, storyline wise. So I don't see a reason to pass off the title. I know why we are, but I don't think it would be a bad idea also to keep the belt on Roman, keep going forward, keep building that legacy, because he is the best champion of the modern era.
Can't argue that, dude. I mean, they're mentioning his name with the likes of Bruno Sammartino, and you know, he's already got the longest reign of the modern era. And that's not something to laugh at, you know, whether you're an MMA fan, combat sports fan, for you to be champion that long on the top of the number one company like that, dude, it says something about you. It says something about the type of star you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that match has money written all over it. I think, well, let's just put it this way. If Cody doesn't win, then I'm going to look like a huge fucking mark come night 2 once you see the fit that I'm wearing to WrestleMania night 2. Another reason that you should follow us at KO3C Pod, because then you can comment on there and laugh at me or tell me how dope my coat looks. Shout out to Chalkline. But I don't know, man. It's tough because it's hard to say Roman's going to lose, but this is where I hate the fucking internet because of the stuff that's all flying around. You know, we already know Roman is, you know, wrestling a lighter schedule and things like that. So I'd like to think Cody's winning. Like, if you're asking me who I think's going to win, I think Cody's going to win. But man, it's hard to say that title reign's going to end.
Would you have said that beyond the rumors and stuff, just gut instinct beforehand, just, you know, without prior knowledge at all, if you're just going off of wrestling
I honestly
fandom.
thought that he was like not a lock, but I thought it was a good chance he was going to win. But again, this is why I was talking about this with, former host of the show, Kyle. You know, I just sometimes, man, like, especially as a kid, like, you know, you like to know the shit that's going on, like who might show up where and that kind of stuff. And even now, that's still kind of cool to know that kind of stuff. But like, as far as like knowing what they're gonna do and who, you know, that kind of shit,
It
like,
takes the joy out of it,
dude,
but
totally.
that's like, I mean, I always do it, but to spin it back to my realm, like watching a UFC event, and even if you don't know who won the main event, but you missed, you know, you're 4 hours behind or something, you had something to do on Saturday and you're just getting to watching the card or whatever the case be. Even if you don't know how the main event played out, even if you just caught a headline on how so and so, one of the guys you liked, won, it's like it ruins that section of it. It really just takes away a layer of it. And in your circumstance, even if it's not necessarily like confirmed results that you're figuring out, even if it's just speculative stuff, or like you say, like scheduling stuff where it's like that could be a clear indicator of potentially this, it really takes away from that like initial excitement of like the figuring out the actual process, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
That's one thing I value now as an adult wrestling fan versus when I was a kid wrestling fan. The fact that we didn't have the internet at our fingertips like that, you didn't get alerts for rumor mills and breaking news. Like you really did have to tune into the product every single time it was on to catch the full grasp of the stories. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's been like devalued. That's one thing that the social media era has not been cool with for me. You know, I don't want to know. I don't want to know who's going to be a surprise entrant in the Rumble or who's going to be a surprise person at WrestleMania. I don't want to know none of that. Don't tell me that.
Yeah. There's certain things like Kyle was saying, like certain times it's right to kind of leak that information, but other times it's just essentially you're just trying to get views on your page.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to. Who can do it first? That's pretty much it. Who can reach the most people? It's the social media era.
Like I've always said from day one, dude, we're just fans at the end of the day, as far as it goes as wrestling. I mean, sure, you know, have I been around fighting a long time, but ultimately, dude, we're all fans of watching this stuff. And especially now, since I traveled to go to WrestleMania and things like that, like, man, the anticipation of what might happen with some of that stuff, I think that might be my favorite thing headed into this WrestleMania is to be honest with you, out of the out of town WrestleManias that I've been to, or WrestleManias period. I mean, this might have some of the most anticipation I have, because there's, like J-Bone said, you know, and that's a good thing to maybe end the show on. You know, what matches outside of Cody versus Roman, and even, I mean, I guess you can throw Rhea versus Charlotte in there, but you know, what matches other than Roman versus Cody are you looking forward to? Because I think that's my favorite thing, is the fact that there's so many other matches that I feel like I genuinely want to see and I'm genuinely looking forward to where it's like, it's not like, okay, I want to see Roman and them, and I maybe want to see the other title match, but the other shit is kind of take it or leave it. Like, there's legitimately matches on both nights I'm really looking forward to. So what about you outside the main event?
Dude, for me, there's Asuka and Bianca. I think that's going to be a banger. The Hell in a Cell match, obviously, I think is going to, dude. I hope
and I heard it's not going to be red. Thank God.
Yeah, they're going to go back to its original Hell in a Cell color. Just dope. That's another one that it could potentially steal this entire show.
And Finn, they're already showing in the graphic, Finn's going to be like the demon and shit.
Yes.
Like, dude, that means there's going to be a gnarly ass entrance.
Yeah.
And we all know Edge can tap into a character as good as anybody else. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that match.
Yeah. Another one, Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio. Once again, that could steal the entire show. There's so much
really
build up there.
Dude.
there's so much build there. It's to see, Ray. It's actually it's a legacy match for Ray. You know what I mean? Like, how cool is that to wrestle your own son? You're pretty much passing the torch here on the biggest stage of them all. And like Kyle, like me and you were talking, this could be the turning point for Dom. Like, he could go out there and put on just a showcase with his dad, a legend, a WWE Hall of Famer as of this weekend.
Oh, I expect him to be honest.
Really get him to the next level. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be huge. That's going to be a special one.
I definitely expect him to.
You think that's the end of Rey Mysterio if he loses?
I mean, if it was going to be his last match, I mean, what a way for him to go out to face his son at WrestleMania, and he goes into the Hall of Fame the night before.
Or at least the end of active Rey Mysterio. Maybe you see appearances and stuff in the future. But
well, I mean, he's been saying for the last couple years that he was getting ready to wind down, with his career. I think Rey Mysterio versus Dominic, like J-Bone said, really could steal the show because, I mean, you talk about good stories. I mean, I don't think anybody's here trying to argue that the Bloodline's not the number one story in WWE. But, man, what they've been able to do with this Rey versus Dominic thing, and when you insert the Rhea Ripley and what we just saw with his mom and all that on SmackDown, like, if Bloodline is number one, I would say Rey and Dominic might be number two. And, especially with the odes to it in his gear, I would love to see Conan be involved since Conan's going to be inducting Rey. I think that would be really dope if Conan was involved somehow. But, hey, man, for everybody that's checking us out, Mega Ran had a lot to say about wrestling is real, people are fake. Make sure that you check it out. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. All this stuff will be available in post and available on all podcast platforms at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning Eastern time. But with that being said, for me, as far as you already said a couple of them that I'm looking forward to, but you didn't say the one I thought you were going to say. Dude, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos is going to be fucking awesome.
Yes.
That's gonna be awesome.
And like I said, that's one that could steal a show, but it's one that's probably gonna have a lot of eyes on other than the main event because, like you said, the Bloodline story, everybody's been so invested in this for years to this point, and for it to finally pay off, I don't know which way it's gonna go, to be honest, but I'm just glad I get to watch. That's all I'm gonna say. That's gonna be a good one.
Imagine they all lose, and it's just like a reshuffling at the top end of the deck,
Corey, shut the fuck up.
It could happen.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
look, man. Cody mentioned it on Raw. The Bloodline could crumble.
I mean,
Sunday.
To be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if Kevin and Sammy win, but that's the thing. What we're talking about right now, the fact that we're genuinely enjoying what the fuck is going on right now is a great time to be a wrestling fan. I'm just saying, like, it's a great time for us to be wrestling fans. John Cena versus past guest of the show, Austin Theory, is going to be a banger too. And they said that's open at night one. I mean, that's going to be
important. Like, how important is that, man? I mean, you're kicking off the biggest show of the year, and like we've always talked about, Kyle. If you're not in the main event, you want to be
not first, you're last, motherfucker.
The first match is very important, and it's a big stage. So, I mean, I couldn't think of a bigger name other than John Cena, but to have Austin Theory there too, putting a lot of trust in that kid, man. So he's gonna shine.
Yeah, dude. I think it's going to be a great match. And I mean, he's already been compared to him a bunch. And I mean, if there's anybody that can help get him over that next rung, I mean, plus the real life story about how Cena was a lot of the person who got Austin Theory into, wrestling and all those things. So I think that match is going to be good. I mean, there's so many things on there that I think people are sleeping on, and that's not even talking about Charlotte versus Rhea. That's going to be badass. That was arguably one of the best matches of COVID Mania. And like, you give them, how many years ago was that now? 3 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah.
3 years ago, and now you're going to have them get back in there and do it for round 2 with the way that Rhea has been able to grow and Charlotte being Charlotte. Man, that shit's going to be a banger.
Yeah.
That's going to be a banger,
that could
dude.
very well steal the show. Another one that could steal the show, the triple threat for the IC title. You got Gunther.
That's going to be
Sheamus,
a fucking
Drew McIntyre.
banger.
I mean, we're talking, 3 big dudes, man. We're swinging sledgehammers in there. It's going to be crazy, man. It's another one.
Just ask PCO. PCO talked about it with us on the show. Like I said, Gunther hitting you in the chest. He may have been called Walter then, but them ham hocks are still the same. Like I said, man, I think this weekend's going to be badass. I think this weekend's going to be fun. So with the matches we've named, do you think who gets it done? Quick fashion. Ray versus Dominic. Who you got?
Dom.
I think Dom gets it done too.
Yeah. It only makes sense to pass the torch, like I was saying.
I think Dom gets it done too. All right, Kevin Owens and Sammy versus the Usos. Who do we got?
The other brothers that are not the Usos, because I feel like
the Canadian brothers, Canada.
The
Canadian connection.
We're gonna call them the Reconnection.
Yeah,
the Canadian connection, man.
My heart wants to go with Kevin Owens and El Generico, but
hey, you
as
don't
history
know that,
proven,
motherfucker. That ain't been confirmed.
Look,
You've
man,
never seen Sami Zayn and El Generico in the same place at the same time.
As history would show, Kevin Owens hasn't been the best quote unquote friend to Sami Zayn, at least in the WWE. So
that's kind of the irony of this whole thing.
Yeah,
and outside of the WWE, what do you mean? Like,
yeah, can we trust Kevin Owens here? Or is it finally time to trust Kevin Owens?
I think they're going to keep them together for a while. Sammy's too big of a baby.
I really hope so.
They'll eventually end up fighting again.
Yeah.
I really hope that's the case there. So I'm gonna take KO and Wrestlemania.
Dude. I think I'm leaning the same way you are, dude, but it's hard to say anything against the bloodline to think that they're not going to get there. Anybody who's watching, feel free to throw your picks in there. Corey, you think we get new champs or not?
Yeah, like I said, I think like I already made my point. The non-brothers.
Yeah, the non-brothers. Yeah, you got the Canadian connection.
Yeah. Canadian.
I think from Canada, but with that being said, so Rhea versus Charlotte. I feel like I kind of feel like Rhea's got to. I was gonna say I feel like Rhea's got to win here.
Yeah, pass the torch.
But how do you bet against Charlotte Flair, bro? That's the thing. Like Charlotte, that's the other thing. Did you guys watch?
She's a beast, but I'm over it. That's why.
Over it? She just came back.
Yeah, but she's been the champ like 14 times.
Yeah, that's what.
Dude, that's what I was gonna say. You watch the A&E biography though, like, dude. If I'm being honest, bro, like, and if any real wrestling fan is really being honest, if Charlotte's not in your like top 2 or 3, the fuck are you watching?
You ain't watching the right wrestling.
Like, what the fuck are you watching? Like, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like jumping on somebody's bandwagon, but I'm just saying, like, if you're really being honest,
yeah.
When every female, like major female in WWE comes on that biography and says, no, she literally is like the best, and then like beats herself up worse than anybody because she's like such a perfectionist. So like,
yeah,
I mean, if we're being honest, dude, you put Charlotte as half of any match, and that match has already got like a good chance to be a 5-star match.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yep. One match though we didn't bring up. I think, look, I want to be so surprised by this because I'm starting to get intrigued by the story. Is Brock Lesnar versus Omos? I'm not expecting a lot out of that match. It's just I feel like the powers that be know that we're not expecting a lot out of that match. But with the stuff
I hope
that's been
we're
happening,
surprised, man, but I don't know.
The stuff that that's happening, I just like to see somebody that much larger than Brock Lesnar, dude. It's so crazy to see that. So I feel like Brock's gonna like do some craziness at Mania with him. He's gonna like toss him somehow.
That's what
It's
I
like
see.
the modern day Hogan versus Andre.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Homer, I guess you could say, in Brock Lesnar, the hometown favorite, essentially running through somebody rather quickly. That's what I think is going to happen in that one. But
I think Brock Lesnar is going to maybe end up putting him over, dude. Like, I think maybe he might not lose, but I think this is definitely to make Omos look good. And I mean, hey, I've met the guy. I got nothing bad to say about him. I really would have liked to seen Lesnar and Lashley again. I thought that's where we were going. And speaking, go ahead.
Maybe I'm just tripping, but from an outsider's perspective, I feel like Omos's skills haven't like superly improved, and his like big manness is just kind of all that I've seen from him. I haven't seen his mic skills or anything like that. I've heard his like evil laugh thing that he did, but like other than that, I feel like I don't know.
That's why
you're going to put him over, but he's what, the next big guy that just is a big dude, you know? Like I don't know.
This could be his final test. You know what I mean? Like, hey, how are we going to do with Brock on the biggest stage of them all? Maybe this is it. We're going to see if he can lace him up and go, or if it's time for him to kind of shift over. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they got MVP with him. But I mean, I hope it ends up being good. I mean, speaking of the last one we can talk about, what do you think we're going to see? Lashley pretty much said he's going to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Do you think Bray Wyatt shows up at the do you think Bray Wyatt shows up at the fucking pay-per-view or on Friday on SmackDown and sets it up so it's Lashley and Bray at Mania?
Man, I hope so. I hope something happens with that. I mean, we're missing something here, right? Something we were looking forward to since what, Kyle? Last year sometime with Bray Wyatt coming back. Like we've yet to get SummerSlam, right? We've yet to get the story. Like we're still waiting.
SummerSlam. It was Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules, yeah. We're still waiting to get that story, and the fact that like, okay, he kind of just disappeared here. We don't really know what's going on, but for professional sake for those two guys, I hope they figure it out and get those guys on the card at WrestleMania because they both deserve to be there. And I hope that's what happens at least, but remains to be seen.
I mean, like I said, dude, not only that, especially this is again where the internet fucking sucks because you hear people saying about that Bray might have gone home again and shit like that because he's not happy with what's going on. And it's like, dude, it's a shitty thing to see headed into WrestleMania. So I, for one, hope that Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy show up during that Andre the Giant Battle Royal and fuck some shit up for Lashley so ultimately we can all enjoy it a little more. Well, boys.
Real quick before we hop out, since we're not doing a show Thursday, I do want to give some love to the Game Bread boxing taking place.
Hell yeah! Past guest of the show, Josh Burns, getting down this weekend.
Yeah, very excited for that card, as well as the return of PFL this Friday with Brendan Lotnay versus Marlon Moraes and last season's light heavyweight champ Rob Wilkinson taking on Thiago Santos. I feel like it's a pretty good, solid start of the year for PFL. You know, I'm a PFL fan over here, so I'll be watching.
So are we, man. You know, we've had Catherine Koraginas on from her fight from the PFL. And I mean, speaking of fights we got to give love to, shout out to past guest of the show, the motherfucking champ, Britton Hart, putting on a clinic against Jenny Savage, man.
She came out of that one basically untouched. She put on a clinic in that one for sure.
She had a cut, but it wasn't even bleeding by the end of the fight. So, I mean, like I said, it's from the champ. Shout out to Mega Ran. Get Wrestling is Real. People are fake anywhere you get your music. I promise you it is worth the listen. Check out Sunset Flip. Shout out to Teak. Like I said, I'm ready for WrestleMania. If you guys are new here, make sure you hit the fucking subscribe button. You never know who will be coming through here, whether it's music, wrestling, MMA, boxing, you never know. And like I said, we will be keeping you up to date with everything we're doing this WrestleMania week. So make sure you hit that subscribe button because it just might be too sweet.